At the start of our project, we had lofty ideas for what we wanted to accomplish.
But we quickly learned that it would be much harder to get anything done than we initially thought.
The truth is, climate change just isn't a big priority in our community. So we decided to take matters into our own hands, addressing climate change by tackling 3 main issues over a 3-week period.
Week 1, limit single-use trash and recycle.
Week 2,
Limit our emissions by walking or biking.
Week 3, eat vegetarian and limit food waste. We documented these 3 weeks to share with the community our experiences and the difficulties we encountered.
Instead of using these to clean the counter, I will be using this reusable paper towel.
It was better, and I feel like I'm using less waste, but with that also comes, am I using more water? Like, I don't know, so I'll have to research that.
There's only a trash bin here and no recycling bin, so look at all the recycling that goes straight into the trash.
Wow, that was brutal. I am soaked. I can barely even film this video because my hands are so cold. So I forgot my camera at school and I only realized when I got home. So I'm about to bike to school right now and get it. So I'm back at school. I got my camera. It got dark pretty quick, but it only took me like 3 minutes to get to school. So yeah, pretty quick.
Hi guys, it's currently 8:15 in the morning. I wake up like half an hour earlier and I've been walking to school and it's been amazing. So yeah.
This is one of the 2 rotaries that I have to go through on my bike on my way to school each day.
Day 4, walking to school.
It's a little drizzly out like it was the first day, but that's okay. It's not like really raining or anything. Hopefully it stays that way for the rest of the walk. I left like 10 minutes later than I should have because it's so hard for me to get out of the morning. But I'm just gonna walk as fast as possible.
And hopefully I don't get there too late. The other day I tried the Beyond Burger made out of like only vegetables. It was really good and a really good substitute for meat.
So I've been eating these veggie burgers right here, and they're made out of like potatoes and carrots and like other vegetables. And it's not the same as real meat, but you know, it tastes alright and it's a pretty good substitute.
Look at all the wasted food that goes straight into the trash.
At the end of our 3 weeks, we wanted to connect our project with our school community by learning how our peers interacted with the 3 main issues.
Probably because they don't realize like the impact that producing like so much plastic has in like the school.
I think a lot of our single-use trash problem comes from the fact that, you know, all of the school lunches are all around plastic. We're giving people plastic utensils, and we need to try to shift to a more sustainable approach to really encourage less single-use plastic.
I think that there's so much trash waste because it's the easier way out and people like to cut corners.
I think that the school should have more recycling bins around the classroom.
They could add more recycling bins all around the school.
But this by implementing better systems to approach how we throw out things and creating like more recycling centers and things like that.
I think that a lot of high schoolers just want to sleep, and so they choose to drive to school so they can leave when they want.
It's a lot better to just like use your own car to get to school. It's a lot more comfortable.
I think taking the bus is like a very young thing to do, and I think that part of growing up, I think people want independence, so they drive. I don't know.
Because of it's colder outside now, so I feel like people would be better off going by car.
I think they could have more places to park your bike, and they could let people who bike to school be allowed to be late.
I think there should be a lot more bike lanes and more places to put your bike and lock it up during the day.
Probably more bus routes, I guess.
Buy a lot of just like local produce and then make our dinners from that rather than buying pre-made meals.
I've been a vegetarian since I was in 4th grade, and I recently became a pescatarian. I feel like people think that like you have to do like all or nothing, but I feel like you can just like not eat meat sometimes.
I've never done anything about my diet to protect the environment more, but I definitely think I should.
Yes, I think the school should compost because I don't really see why that would be an issue.
I don't think we should do composting because I don't think anyone's gonna do it.
Like there are rumors that they're not actually recycling what we put in the recycling bins. So I feel like if it's done correctly, it could be effective, but like if not, then like it just shouldn't be done.
After talking to our peers, we then wanted to learn what our school and city were doing to help our community be more sustainable.
So as a school, we are working on raising awareness around what is and isn't recyclable, and we'll hopefully be doing other education around textile waste, around e-waste, around other elements of our daily lifestyle. And having students engaged in this and recognizing what they do matters, both in terms of the environment and politically in other ways, is really important, and hopefully gives them a sense of agency.
If you see people walking and biking, you're more likely to join in. We've been hard at work at Newton South in the city and in the schools, chipping away at a bike route all the way to Newton South. Another option you have for sustainable transportation is the reduced fare Student Charlie card, which makes it half price to ride public transportation like the T and like the bus.
The partnership that we are looking for students is really active. We can certainly switch up some of the offerings within the menu options from more sustainable materials, but when specific composting bins are there to make sure that they utilize those, because that's really going to be where there's a major impact from students on making sustainability measures. And it takes active engagement after every meal to do so.
Our project taught us that small individual steps add up to global change.
A lot is being done at our school and throughout the city to help us be more sustainable. But these efforts are only successful with community engagement.
Together, we can make a difference.